This is you, face pressed against the floor of an MH-47 Chinook helicopter, 100 feet above the Caribbean Sea, flying in total darkness toward the capital city of Venezuela. You have done this before. Not this, but versions of this. Dark helicopters, fast ropes, men with guns on the other end. You know the feeling in your chest right now, and you know it doesn't go away until it's over. The man across from you checks his rifle for the fourth time. You don't say anything. Everyone has their ritual. Let's go back, because this didn't start tonight. August 2025, 5 months ago. You don't know what the CIA team on the ground in Caracas is doing. That's not your world. Your world is trigger pulls and fast ropes and room clearance. But somewhere in Venezuela right now, a man with no uniform and no official existence is watching Nicolas Maduro eat breakfast, watching him sleep, watching which door he uses, which car he gets into, what time the guards rotate. Pattern of life. That's what they call it. Understanding a man so completely that you can predict him, where he'll be, when he'll be there, which room, which bed. By the time that intelligence reaches you, it's been refined for 5 months. You know more about Maduro's daily routine than his own staff does. You know what he eats. You know his pets. You know the layout of his compound at Fortuna, every corridor, every door, every room, because your unit built an exact replica of it at a classified training site and has been running through it for weeks. You've put boots on that floor 100 times already. Tonight is just the one that counts. December, the rehearsals. The mock-up is good. Full scale, same dimensions, same door placements. They even replicated the steel safe room, a reinforced shelter Maduro has access to if he gets enough warning. Your job, and the job of the men around you, is to make sure he doesn't get enough warning. You run the building in daylight. You run it at night. You run it on 4 hours of sleep with your hands cold and your legs heavy. You run it when things go wrong, when a door doesn't open on time, when the wrong room gets cleared first, when someone goes down. You plan for everything, because the one thing you can't plan for is everything. There's a man on the team who's been in Delta for 11 years. He's done Iraq, Syria, Somalia, places that don't have official names in the reporting. He runs the mock-up the same way every single time. Same entry angle, same hand signals, same position on the stack. You ask him about it once.
Why do you always run it exactly the same way, every single time?
Muscle memory. When it's loud and dark and everyone's shooting, your brain goes offline. Your body has to know what to do without being asked.
You think about that every time you run the building after that. You stop thinking about the mission and start letting your body learn it. By week 3, you stop thinking at all. You just move. Your team leader stands in front of you after one of the final rehearsals and says it simply.
We know this building. We own this building. When we get there, it won't be his home. It'll be ours.
Nobody cheers. You don't cheer at things like that. You nod and you go run it again. January 2:10:46 p.m. Eastern Time. The order comes down. You don't know where it came from exactly. You don't need to. Somewhere up the chain, the president authorized it. That word traveled through generals and commanders and satellite links until it reached your team leader, who puts his hand on your shoulder in the staging area and says one thing.
This is what we've been building toward for months. Every rep in that mock-up, every sleepless night, every run-through. It was all for tonight. Stay sharp. Stay together.
You gear up in silence. This is the part movies always get wrong. Nobody makes speeches. Nobody says anything profound. You check your kit the way you've checked it 1,000 times before. Night vision, radio, medical, rifle. You think about the building. You think about the doors. You think about the route from the helicopter to the target and back again. You keep it small. The big picture is someone else's job tonight. Your job is a set of rooms in a compound in Caracas, and you know those rooms better than you know your own apartment. At 2:01 a.m., the helicopters lift off and turn south. The flight in, 100 feet above the water, flying low enough that radar systems look right over the top of you. You pull your night vision down. The world goes green. The coastline appears ahead of you, black and sharp in the goggles, and now comes the part of the flight that nobody talks about in the briefing room, but everyone thinks about. Venezuela has the S-300, a Russian-made surface-to-air missile system, one of the most advanced in the world. It can track an aircraft from over 90 miles away and hit it from 25 miles out. The system has radar powerful enough to see through darkness, through weather, through low-altitude approaches. It is designed specifically to kill helicopters and jets like the ones you are currently flying in. Your helicopter is now inside that range. The pilot says nothing. The crew says nothing. The radio goes quiet for a moment that stretches. Nothing happens. And here is why. In the hours before your helicopter ever left the deck, U.S. electronic warfare aircraft, EA-18 Growlers, were already hunting those radar systems. The Growlers work like this. The moment a Venezuelan radar turns on, it broadcasts its own position. The Growler sees it instantly and fires an anti-radiation missile. The Venezuelan operators knew this, so they made a choice. Keep the radar off and stay alive, or turn it on and die in seconds. They kept it off. A radar that isn't running cannot see you, and a missile that cannot see you cannot fire. The S-300 is still out there in the dark somewhere below. It just can't do anything about you tonight. The pilot's voice comes through your earpiece.
2 minutes.
You feel the helicopter slow. Below you, Caracas, fires already burning in the distance. Other strikes, other targets, other teams doing their part in this mission. The radio is loud. With traffic you parse quickly. Multiple engagements, multiple locations. This isn't a raid, it's an operation. Your piece of it is one compound, one man.
1 minute.
The compound. Fort Tiuna is a military fortress tucked against the mountains south of Caracas. Maduro's compound is inside it. High walls, guards, Cuban soldiers, his personal protection, elite, well-trained, the kind of place built by a man who has spent 20 years making enemies and knows it. The helicopter flares over the target. No landing, the roof geometry doesn't allow it, and landing means noise and time you don't have. The ropes go out, you go down. The moment you land, the world is loud. The radio is a stream of fast clipped words.
Tango down, northwest corner. Stack on the door. Moving.
The first door goes down in seconds. Charges. Smoke pours through the gap and you're moving into it before it clears. The building is dark and closed. Your night vision turns it green and sharp. You move the way you've trained. Down one corridor. A figure appears at the far end, a guard, weapon up, and it's over before you've thought about it. You step over him and keep moving. Through a second door. Another shout. More gunfire from outside. The building is shaking something large, hitting the perimeter. The comms are breaking up. You can't tell if that's interference or distance. You don't stop to figure it out. The building is exactly what the mock-up told you it would be, and your feet know where to go even when your brain is behind. The bedroom. Intelligence told you which room. It told you which side of the bed. It told you he sleeps with his wife, Celia Flores. When you breach the door, Nicolas Maduro is already moving toward the far wall, toward the steel door. Your teammate is already between him and the door. Maduro stops. He looks at the men in his bedroom in full kit with rifles and night vision, and for a moment, just a moment, you see on his face something you recognize from other rooms in other countries. The moment a man understands that it's over. He doesn't run, he doesn't fight, he just stops.
Get down, now!
We have them.
Your team leader says into the radio, voice completely level.
Preparing for exfil.
You pull Maduro to his feet. His hands are zip-tied in front of him. Soundproof headphones go over his ears. A blindfold goes over his eyes. He says something loud, declarative. You don't speak Spanish, and it doesn't matter. Whatever he's saying, the answer is the same.
Move.
Getting in, you had the element of surprise. Nobody knew you were coming. Getting out is different. The whole city is awake now. Every soldier in Caracas knows exactly where you are. The outer wall of Maduro's compound has become a battle. Venezuelan and Cuban forces are pressing from outside. You can hear the Blackhawks above guns hot, working targets you can't see. Someone on the radio says the words overwhelming force, and that's exactly what it sounds like from the inside. Controlled chaos, loud, fast, and moving. You move Maduro through the building fast, out the way you came. The rope is still hanging. He goes up with help he doesn't want. You go up behind him. As the helicopter banks north, the airframe shudders. A burst of ground fire from somewhere below. You feel the hit in your teeth before you hear it. A lurch, something tearing in the rear of the aircraft. For a second, nothing. Then, the pilot's voice, completely flat.
We're hit. Still flying. Continue the mission.
And it does. The helicopter keeps climbing, keeps moving north, the engines running hot but running. Below you, Caracas falls away, fires at the port, smoke over La Carlota. The mountains to the south lit up where the strikes hit radar installations and air defense sites hours ago. A city that went to sleep thinking it was untouchable. 3:29 a.m. Your helicopter crosses back over water.
Forces feet wet, package secured.
It means everyone is out, and Maduro is with us. At sea, you see the USS Iwo Jima. The deck is lit when you land. Medical teams are already moving. 7 men took wounds tonight. Somewhere below deck, Nicolas Maduro is sitting in a room on a U.S. Navy warship. He'll be flown to Guantanamo Bay to be processed, then transferred north on a Department of Justice aircraft to New York. By late afternoon, he'll walk off a plane at Stewart Air National Guard Base, surrounded by federal agents. By the time most Americans wake up and check their phones, this will already be history. You don't feel what movies tell you you're supposed to feel. No rush, no fist in the air. You feel the specific kind of tiredness that comes from months of preparation collapsing into 2 hours of execution. You feel the adrenaline draining out of you all at once, then slower, then gone. You look out at the Caribbean. The sky in the east is starting to go gray. By morning, Venezuela will declare a state of emergency. Delcy Rodriguez Maduro's vice president, already in Russia when this went down, will call it a kidnapping. U.S. senators will argue about whether it was legal. The world will have opinions. None of that is your job. Your job was a set of rooms in a compound in Caracas that you'd run 100 times in a mock-up and then ran one final time for real. Your job was a man moving toward a steel door and not getting there in time. You did your job. You close your eyes for a minute. Just a minute. The Iwo Jima moves north through the Caribbean, carrying home everything the night produced. The story is fiction. The operation is not. Operation Absolute Resolve launched on January 3rd, 2026. Delta Force, supported by over 150 aircraft from 20 bases, captured Venezuelan President Nicolas Maduro at Fort Tiuna, Caracas. Multiple sites were struck simultaneously. Fort Tiuna, La Carlota Air Base, Higuerote Airport, and the port of La Guaira. 7 U.S. service members were wounded. None were killed. Maduro and his wife were taken to the USS Iwo Jima, transferred to Guantanamo Bay, then flown to New York, where both pleaded not guilty to narco-terrorism charges in Manhattan Federal Court on January 5th. If you want to see a soldier trapped in the trenches of World War I, click on it and we'll see you in the next one.